Have you ever wondered why some men effortlessly command attention, respect, and attraction, while others struggle, no matter how hard they try? It's not about looks, it's not about money, and it's definitely not about being overly nice or agreeable. The truth is, women are wired, on a deep psychological level, to crave something far more powerful, something most men today have completely lost. It's Stoic masculinity, the unshakable presence of a man who is in full control of himself, a man who doesn't react out of fear or desperation, a man whose silence carries more weight than another man's loudest words. And today, I'm going to show you why women crave these men, why they can't resist them, why they secretly test for them, and why mastering this untold power of true masculinity will set you apart from the masses. But first, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and type, "I am unbreakable." Because today we're not just talking about power, we're becoming it. Now, let's begin. Number 1. The masculine edge. Why Stoicism makes you magnetic. Most men live as slaves to their emotions. They react, they overthink, they chase, and in doing so they destroy their own power. Women see it, sense it, and instinctively pull away. But the man who masters emotional control, he stands apart. He becomes magnetic because he is rare. He doesn't seek validation. He doesn't overthink every little action. He is simply rooted in himself, unshaken by the chaos of the world around him. Think about this. A woman suddenly starts acting distant. She delays her responses, seems less engaged, and the average man starts panicking. He double texts, over-explains, and seeks reassurance. He's desperately trying to keep her attention, but in reality, he's pushing her further away. Why? Because the moment he lets his emotions control him, he reveals weakness. He shows that he is dependent on her response for his sense of self-worth. But what does the Stoic man do? He recognizes the test. He knows that attraction isn't about convincing someone, it's about commanding respect through presence. Instead of reacting with fear, he remains centered. He continues his path, his purpose, his life, because he understands one crucial truth. His worth is not dictated by external validation, and that is the moment a woman feels his power. Women are drawn to this type of grounded strength, not because you're ignoring them, but because your energy commands respect. It signals, "I am in control of myself. My world does not revolve around you. I am centered, I am focused, and that is power." This is why men who embody Stoicism appear so effortlessly attractive. They move through life with an unshakable presence. They are rooted in their purpose, not in someone else's approval. And when you stop needing validation, the world bends in your favor. Here's the dark truth. Women will always test men, not to be cruel, but to see if you are truly strong. A woman doesn't just want a man, she wants a man she can trust to lead. Someone who won't collapse under pressure. Someone who won't lose control when things get hard. So what happens when a weak man is tested? He crumbles, he over-explains, he seeks validation, he lets her test shake his confidence, and in that moment, she loses respect for him. She may not even know why, but suddenly she feels different. The attraction fades. But when a woman tests a Stoic man, something very different happens. She pushes, she challenges, she tries to create a reaction, and he simply does not break. He remains calm, he remains unshaken. And in that moment, she feels it. She feels the weight of his presence, the depth of his control, and that is what keeps her drawn in. A man who lives by Stoic principles understands this fundamental truth. He is the source of his own power. He does not need to be validated. He does not seek approval. His confidence is not given. It is forged through discipline and self-mastery. Now, comment below, "I am the mountain." Because true power is not in chasing, it's in standing firm. Now let's move deeper into the psychology of attraction. Number 2, why women are drawn to the mysterious and unshaken man. Have you ever noticed how the men who reveal the least about themselves are the ones women chase the most? It's not an accident, it's psychology. When a man is too open, too available, too predictable, he removes the element of mystery. And the moment a woman feels like she has completely figured you out, her curiosity, and with it, her attraction, begins to fade. Most men think that by sharing everything, by being overly expressive, they are building a deeper connection. In reality, they are stripping themselves of all intrigue. Women are drawn to the unknown, to a man who keeps her guessing, whose emotions and thoughts aren't constantly displayed on his sleeve. The truth is, women don't fall in love with what is obvious. They fall in love with what they cannot fully grasp. This is why the unshaken man, the Stoic man, is so powerful. He doesn't give everything away. His presence alone speaks louder than words. His actions are deliberate. His energy is focused. He does not seek to entertain or prove himself. And this drives women crazy. Here's where dark psychology comes in. The moment you make a woman feel like she is completely secure in your attention, the moment she stops wondering about you, attraction starts to diminish. It's not that women don't want security. They do. But they don't want predictability. They want to feel something, to experience the thrill of wondering if they fully captured your mind. And this is where most men fail. They pour out their emotions too soon. They reveal every thought, every feeling, hoping that transparency will create connection. But what it really does is drown the fire of attraction before it ever has a chance to grow. Now, this doesn't mean you have to play games. It doesn't mean you have to be cold or manipulative. It means you need to understand one fundamental truth. A woman should never feel like she has you completely figured out. Think of the most legendary men in history. Were they the ones constantly explaining themselves, constantly reassuring, constantly bending to others' emotions? Number, they carried mystique. They were present but detached. They were deeply engaged with the world, yet they remained a puzzle that could never fully be solved. When a woman looks at you, she should sense depth, a mind and spirit that run deeper than the surface. She should feel that no matter how much she learns about you, there's always something more beneath. That is the essence of being mysterious and unshaken. Now comment below, I am the mystery, because the man who is truly powerful is the one who cannot be easily defined. Now, let's go even deeper. Number 3, the silent power of a Stoic leader. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt the presence of a man who didn't need to speak to command attention? He wasn't the loudest. He wasn't the most animated. Yet, something about him made everyone take notice. That is the power of a Stoic leader. Most men believe that power comes from talking more, explaining themselves, or proving their worth. But the truth is, the most powerful men in history were those who led through silence, through presence, through an unshakable aura of control. Women respect and crave this type of man instinctively. He is different from the rest. He does not overshare, he does not seek validation, and most importantly, he does not try to prove himself to anyone. His confidence is felt, not spoken. Think about this. When a man is overly eager, constantly explaining his every move, or trying too hard to win approval, he signals uncertainty, and uncertainty is the exact opposite of what draws people, especially women, toward a man. But when a man is composed, deliberate, and completely comfortable in his silence, he creates an aura of mystery and power. This is where dark psychology comes in. People, especially women, are wired to be drawn toward what they cannot easily understand. The moment you say less, the moment you allow your presence to speak louder than words, you become magnetic. Women lean in. They wonder, what is he thinking? Why is he so composed? Why isn't he seeking attention like the others? That curiosity creates instant intrigue and deep attraction. The Stoic leader does not react to every little thing. He doesn't get easily offended. He doesn't break under pressure. He is the man who can sit in absolute stillness and remain completely at peace. And when you become that kind of man, you shift from being just another option to being the standard, the kind of man a woman doesn't just want, but respects and admires. Now comment below, I am the standard. Because a man who leads through silence and control stands above the rest. Now, let's take it even further. Number 4. The weaponized mind. How Stoic men shape reality. Most men drift through life reacting to everything around them. They get angry when things don't go their way. They get anxious over things they can't control, and they constantly seek approval from others. But a Stoic man, he does the opposite. He does not react. He dictates reality. Women are naturally drawn to a man whose mind is his own, a man who doesn't let emotions control him, who doesn't let the opinions of others shape his actions. Why? Because control over oneself is the rarest form of power. And women are wired to seek power, not in brute force, but in composure, focus, and unshakable certainty. Imagine this. 2 men experience the same situation. A woman pulls away, grows distant, starts testing. The first man spirals, sending long messages, overanalyzing, trying desperately to fix things. The second man? He remains completely unaffected. He knows his value. He knows that her behavior doesn't define him. And because of that, he wins without even trying. This is what dark psychology teaches us. People want what they cannot control. The more unpredictable and composed you are, the more people will crave your attention. And when a woman senses that she cannot fully influence your emotions, her attraction deepens. She begins to wonder, why doesn't he react like the others? Why is he so sure of himself? And that curiosity transforms into obsession. The Stoic man weaponizes his mind by mastering detachment. He does not let temporary emotions cloud his judgment. He does not react impulsively. He does not seek revenge, validation, or approval. Instead, he observes, he calculates, and he chooses his responses with precision. That is why his presence carries weight. He is a man in control. When you reach this level of self-mastery, you stop chasing, you stop overthinking, and you stop reacting emotionally. Instead, you lead. You shape reality with your actions and decisions rather than being tossed around by circumstances. And this is what sets you apart from the weak, from the impulsive, from the desperate. Now, comment below, I control my reality, because the man who controls his mind controls everything. Now, let's go even deeper. Number 5, the art of indifference. The secret. Every high-value man knows. Here's the paradox most men never understand. The less you care, the more they chase. The moment a woman feels that you are emotionally dependent on her, she instinctively pulls away. But when you remain detached, when you radiate the energy of a man who is completely at peace with or without her, she becomes drawn to you in ways she can't even explain. Most men think attraction is about pursuing harder, proving their worth, or making grand gestures. They believe that by showing constant attention, they will win her over. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding of human psychology. People do not value what is freely given. The moment something is guaranteed, the mind begins to take it for granted, and this is where so many men fail. Think about the times a woman has ignored a man's text. The average guy panics, double texts, starts overthinking. He goes into damage control mode, trying to regain her attention. But a Stoic man? He doesn't even flinch. He is completely indifferent because he understands that his value is not defined by her reaction. He never begs, never pleads, never needs to win her, and because of that, she starts chasing him. This is the power of indifference. When you remove the fear of loss, when you stop giving excessive attention, when you detach from the outcome, you flip the dynamic completely. Instead of being the one seeking validation, you become the prize. You create tension, mystery, and desire. And the best part, it happens effortlessly because you are simply living in your power. Now, let's take it even further. Why is scarcity so powerful? It's because the human mind craves what is rare. If you are constantly available, constantly responding immediately, constantly proving yourself, you become common. But when a man is focused on his mission, his purpose, his growth, when a man is busy building his life, he becomes scarce. And scarcity is what fuels obsession. A woman must feel like your presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. She must feel that she has earned your time and attention. Because when something is rare, when something is uncertain, the mind assigns higher value to it. And this is what keeps attraction alive. Now comment below, I am the prize. Because a man who values himself first is the man who will always be in control. Now let's go deeper into the psychology of dominance. Number 6. Masculine frame, the one thing women subconsciously test for. Women don't test men because they enjoy playing games. They test because they need to know, deep in their subconscious, that you are truly strong, that you are a man who can hold his own under pressure, that you are unshakable. Most men fail these tests without even realizing it. They get defensive, they over-explain, they try to prove themselves. And the moment a man does this, he loses respect. Women don't consciously plan these tests, but their instincts demand them. It's not about manipulation, it's about biological hardwiring. Women need to feel safe, and they can only feel safe with a man who is truly in control. Think about it. When a woman playfully challenges you, makes a sarcastic remark, or pulls away to see how you react, she's not doing it to push you away. She's doing it to see if you will remain centered. If you react emotionally, if you scramble for validation, if you show even a hint of insecurity, she feels it immediately. And in that moment, her attraction drops. But the Stoic man, he remains composed, he smirks, he stays unfazed. He understands that her words have no power over him. He doesn't explain himself, he doesn't seek approval, and he certainly doesn't react emotionally. Instead, he holds his masculine frame. And that is what separates leaders from followers. Here's the dark psychology behind it. Women are drawn to dominance in behavior, not in words. A weak man will try to convince a woman he's strong by talking about his power, his status, his importance. But a truly powerful man, he doesn't need to convince anyone. His presence alone commands respect. His energy says everything. This is why holding frame is so crucial. Your frame is the invisible structure that governs how you react to the world. A weak man lets external events define him. His emotions shift based on what happens around him. But a man with a strong frame, he defines his reality. He stands firm no matter what. The moment a woman sees that she cannot shake you, cannot control you, cannot manipulate your emotions, she respects you more. She realizes you are the type of man who can lead, protect, and handle pressure. And that is what keeps attraction burning. Now, comment below, I hold my frame. Because a man who stays in control is the man who commands respect. Now, let's take it even deeper. Number 7. The dark truth about weak men and why women reject them. Weak men repel women, not because they're nice, not because they're lacking in looks or money, but because they destroy their own value with one fatal mistake: emotional neediness. A woman can sense weakness before a man even speaks. It's in his posture, his energy, his words. It's in the way he seeks approval rather than commanding respect. And the moment a woman feels this weakness, she pulls away, not out of malice, but out of instinct. A woman does not want to feel like the leader. She does not want to feel like the one in control. She wants to submit to a man who is stronger than her. Here's where most men fail. They think if they just love harder, text more, prove themselves more, they can win a woman back when she starts pulling away. But this never works. Why? Because the moment a man becomes emotionally desperate, he loses all power. He turns into a child begging for validation instead of a man standing in his own worth. Think about the men who get friend-zoned. They are almost always overly available, overly eager, overly accommodating. They respond instantly. They fear conflict. They put the woman on a pedestal, and in doing so, they strip themselves of any sense of challenge, any sense of strength. A woman may like them, but she will never respect them. This is where dark psychology reveals an uncomfortable truth. Attraction is not based on kindness alone. Women may say they want a nice guy, But what they actually crave is a man who knows his worth, who does not bend, who does not need their validation. The man who can be kind, but is also completely indifferent to whether or not he is liked. A weak man seeks permission. A strong man seeks nothing. He walks into every situation knowing he is enough. He does not beg for attention. He does not flood a woman with texts when she pulls away. He simply remains unshaken, and that alone makes him irresistible. Now, comment below, "I need nothing," because a man who needs nothing gains everything. Now let's step into the next level of power. Number 8. The King's Discipline. How Stoicism makes you unstoppable. A man without discipline is a man without power. No matter how attractive, wealthy, or intelligent he is, if he lacks self-control, he is ruled by his impulses, making him weak, predictable, and easily controlled. And women can feel it. Think about the most legendary men in history, the warriors, the leaders, the visionaries. Were they easily distracted? Were they begging for attention? Number. They were men of discipline, men who sacrificed comfort for greatness, men who lived by principle rather than emotion. And that is exactly why they were admired, respected, and desired. A Stoic man knows that every action he takes, every thought he entertains, either strengthens him or weakens him. He does not waste time scrolling mindlessly, chasing validation, or indulging in self-destructive habits. He moves with purpose. He trains his body. He sharpens his mind. He forges his will through discipline because he knows that self-mastery is the foundation of true power. Women are drawn to this because a man on a mission is a man they cannot control. He is too busy building himself to be distracted by drama. He does not need constant validation because his sense of worth comes from his own growth, and this makes him rare. Here's where dark psychology comes in. People, especially women, are magnetically drawn to those who have a sense of purpose greater than themselves. When you are fully committed to your own path, you create an energy that pulls people toward you without effort. And when a woman senses that she is not your main focus, that your mission comes first, she becomes obsessed with earning a place in your life. But the moment a man loses his discipline, the moment he prioritizes pleasure over purpose, he loses himself. He falls into distraction, into laziness, into chasing instead of leading. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who has no direction. Now, comment below. I am on a mission, because a man who walks with purpose cannot be stopped. Now let's step into the ultimate power move. Number 9. Why walking away is the ultimate power move. A man's greatest display of strength is his ability to walk away without hesitation. When a woman senses that you are willing to leave at any moment, not as a game, not as a manipulation, but because you truly value yourself above all else, she feels it in her core, and that feeling shifts the entire dynamic in your favor. Most men fear loss. They cling to relationships, chase after women who pull away, and desperately try to fix things when they feel someone slipping away. But a Stoic man, he does the opposite. He never begs, never pleads, never compromises his worth for the sake of temporary affection. He walks away without looking back. This is where dark psychology reveals a brutal truth. The fear of loss is the strongest motivator in human psychology. When something is guaranteed, people take it for granted. But the moment something is at risk of being lost forever, the mind panics, obsesses, and fixates on getting it back. This is why the Stoic man's detachment is so powerful. Women don't want a man who is willing to sacrifice his dignity just to keep them around. They don't want a man who fears losing them. They want a man who knows his worth so deeply that he is willing to walk away the moment he senses disrespect, disloyalty, or anything that threatens his peace. Think about the difference between a king and a beggar. A king never chases. He simply allows people into his life if they are worthy. A beggar, on the other hand, pleads for attention, hoping to be chosen. The moment you stop begging and start behaving like a king, people, including women, will start treating you like one. A woman can feel when a man is afraid to lose her. She can feel when he is desperate to keep her attention, and the moment she senses this weakness, her attraction dies. But when a man stands firm in his value, when he silently communicates, "I will not tolerate anything less than respect," her entire perception of him changes. She suddenly sees him as the man she cannot fully control, the man she needs to chase. Now comment below, "I walk away like a king," because the man who fears nothing loses nothing. Now, let's enter the final stage of true power. Number 10. The final lesson, the man who cannot be controlled. The ultimate transformation of a man is when he reaches the point where nothing can control him. Not women, not emotions, not external validation, not even fear itself. He becomes untouchable, not because he is indifferent to the world, but because he has mastered himself. Most men live their entire lives chained to their emotions, to their desires, to their fear of rejection, to the need for validation. But the Stoic man moves differently. He has nothing to prove. He is not driven by the opinions of others. He does not react to every little thing. He does not seek approval. He does not chase. He simply exists in his full power. This is the final level of masculinity, a man who lives by his own code. A man who does not sway with the opinions of the weak, who does not compromise his values for comfort, who does not let anyone dictate his emotions. A man who, when he speaks, commands attention, and when he is silent, his presence is still felt. Women feel this energy instantly. A man who is fully in control of himself cannot be manipulated, cannot be guilt-tripped, cannot be broken, and that is what truly separates the few from the many. Here's the truth. Weak men are slaves to everything around them. They chase pleasure, they chase approval, they chase women, they chase everything except their own power, and because of that, they are easily controlled. But the man who cannot be controlled, he is a force of nature. He moves with intention and certainty. He has no fear of loss, no fear of rejection, no need to be liked. He does what he chooses, when he chooses, and he accepts the consequences without hesitation. And because of that, the world bends to him. Women chase him, people respect him, and above all, he is free. Now, comment below, "I am a force of nature," because the man who cannot be controlled is the man who controls everything. Now, if you've made it this far, you're not like most men. You seek power, wisdom, and self-mastery. And for that, I respect you. If you're serious about becoming the strongest version of yourself, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning. Welcome to your transformation. This is Stoic Blessing. Stay strong, stay unshaken, and never, ever be controlled.